Whoops. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I started filming this and then realized that I didn't have my mic on. So today I am doing a quick overview of my thoughts on the Lunar Chronicles. Ooh, here's the books. And I will just say I love this series. I love all the characters. In my opinion, there's not a bad character in this series. But I'm going to go over each book and what they're about. This is a bunch of fairy tale retellings set in space that all, flow into the next. They all are interconnected. So the books flow into each other, but each book specifically is retelling a certain fairy tale. And I loved it. I at first thought that the whole fairy tale space adventure would not be good, but it's amazing. And my headband is actually Rampion Crew, which is from Lunar Chronicles, and you can get it at Fable Bands, and I have it in my other book haul bookish things video. So watch that if you haven't. And let's get started. So Cinder is the first book, and this is a retelling of Cinderella, obviously. And this book is really good. This introduced us to Cinder, who is a great character, and her android Aiko, who is another really fun character, and the prince is Kai. So I will say with the first book, I wasn't like in the Kai fan club. He's okay. He is definitely not the strongest in this book to me. He got progressively better, but Kai was never my favorite of the male characters, but I do like him, and he was, fine. Like, I do like him. He gets really, great during the later books, but in this one, I was kind of meh about Kai, but Cinder, love, love, love. So Cinder is a cyborg, and yes, it's weird, but it's great. And so that's how this starts out. There's a disease that has been introduced to Earth by Lunars, who are the people living on the moon. And there's a big cultural clash between Earthens and the Lunars, and the Lunar Queen is trying to take over. So that's kind of where the book starts. And I will say where it strays off into some parts where I was kind of bored was the space politics between Kai, who ends up becoming, he's the prince, between Prince Kai and the Lunar Queen when they're talking about trying to forge an alliance and possibly a marriage alliance, and the space politics of it all. It kind of put me back into the whole Star Wars prequels mode, and yeah. So, great introduction to the series. Love the book. Okay, Scarlet is a Little Red Riding Hood retelling, and I feel like that's a super hard fairy tale to make amazing. There are some Little Red Riding Hood retellings, and I've read a few. Only a couple of them have been good. This is great. I will say I think it's difficult to not make it weird. I won't get into it. But this is a really good book. I like Scarlet. I like Wolf. Scarlet starts out, she lives on a farm with her grandma. She meets Wolf. He's a street fighter. And we're also following along with Cinder, and she's meeting up with Captain Thorn. And so it's continuing the progression of what happened in the first book. And I really like this. I will say Scarlet and Wolf were not my favorite characters to begin with, but I'll tell you, they became some of my favorite characters later. And I think this was a really great next book in this series. And also the parts with Cinder that expanded on her character were amazing. It just made me love her that much more. So this was probably my favorite book in the series. This is Cress, and this is a Rapunzel retelling, if you can't tell. And Cress is a hacker who lives in a satellite. She is obviously been put there to hack Earth systems. She's been put there to infiltrate Earth by the Lunars. And so she's abandoned. She's out there floating around her satellite all by herself. She has had no human interaction, hardly at all. She's very awkward and endearing, and she's going to be spending the majority of the time with Captain Thorn, who's another great character. He's kind of the rogue, rakish kind of guy, and I love him. Love him. He's also the captain of the Rampion, and hey, I love me a captain. Take from that what you will, because I don't even know what it means. Anyway, so this book is great, and I like this book a lot. I think it was my favorite. It expands on everybody else. Scarlet, we're still following Scarlet, Cinder, Wolf, Aiko, Kai, but the parts with Cress and Thorn are just heartwarming, and I feel like I relate the best to Cress because I understand the social awkwardness a lot. So yeah, this is really great. And I love, if you've ever read the original Rapunzel series, this is really good job of incorporating themes from the original book, the original fairy tale. It's super interesting and I loved it. Okay. The last book, Winter, is a different version, obviously. So it's actually a gorgeous version of this book. And these are the new covers. So I will list down below the old and new covers. But I probably have to get the new covers because they're beautiful. Anyway, Winter is the Snow White retelling. Winter is a lunar princess. She is so gorgeous that her evil stepmother, the Queen of Lunar, made her scratch her own face to somehow mar her beauty, but it's just made her more beautiful. And her guard, Jason, I don't know how you say it, is going to be the main character in this book that is, with her, and kind of we're expanding on him. He was introduced in Cress, but he might have been introduced before that. He was introduced earlier in the books, but he's, him and Winter's relationship is going to be featured mostly in this book. And I had a hard time with Winter, the character. The book is amazing. But Winter is, it's hard to explain without a bunch of spoilers. I like Winter. She's a beautiful, tragic character, and I like how she is going through so much, but she's still so strong, and she is just amazing. So this is a really great series. It is very well established. The world building is really good. The conflict between the Lunars and the Earth kingdoms is very well done and very rarely goes too far into space politics to be annoying. And I will say this is, to me, a very strong finish. It wrapped up the series really good. I know that there's a couple additional books, I think a prequel, and then a few additional stories just to further add to this. But I will say this series was 10 out of 10 for me. I would recommend it. It's very fun. It's definitely young adult. It's pretty clean. There's nothing, let me think. Yeah, as far as I know, nothing weird in it. There's kissing, but other than that, it's really great, and I liked it. And I felt like it was just fun and enjoyable all the way through. So I will say that if you're looking for a new series to start, definitely try this out. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and tell me what you're reading down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Bye.